Hey guys, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel, Home to Inspire DIY and Decor. Today is going to be a little different as far as what I am showing you. I wanted to experiment with some mirror effects spray paint. I've been really curious about making some mercury glass looking ornaments, and I was only able to find this silver mirror effects color. They do come in gold as well, but these are getting harder to find. I did have to go to like several hardware stores and even Walmart and those types of stores, and it's like no one carries them anymore. But I was lucky enough to find this one last can at Home Depot. So if you want to recreate this, try that store and maybe you'll find it. But the first thing I did was I took these plastic clear ornaments, and they're in the shape of like light bulbs. I have had these for many years. I've done different things with them. As you can see here, I did have some silver tinsel in them at one point, and I created a garland out of it, which is why they're hanging off of a jute twine. But I decided to just keep it on the twine. It makes it easier to spray paint these. So here I just did a few light coats. Just make sure that you're not overspraying and going heavy-handed. You want to do little soft strokes here and there, and making sure that you sort of spray at different directions. And you're going to be doing multiple layers of the paint, so there's no need to go for full coverage in your first go around. I'm also using a little spray bottle filled with equal parts of white vinegar and water. And what I'm doing is spraying over the Mirror Effects spray paint while it's still wet. So once I sprayed a few light coats of the Mirror Effects and I can see that the mirror was starting to form, I then took the spray bottle and of the white vinegar and water and just spritz it a little bit here and there. And what that's going to do is sort of like create splotchiness or spots, or essentially I think it's repelling like the mirror effects paint that I initially sprayed. Hence creating this really neat effect, which is going to be the look of mercury glass. So this is like a vintage looking mercury glass that I'm trying to create here. Now you can also try this with glass, obviously. You don't have to use like plastic clear ornaments or anything like that. You can try it with, a glass ornament. You can even try it on a mirror. I haven't done that yet, but I'd really be curious to experiment with that as well. But here, as you can see, I am just continuing to create layers, as I've mentioned. I spray on the mirror effects, and then while damp, I spray on some water, vinegar mixture, and then I keep doing that over and over until I sort of have like that look I was trying to achieve. Now, this first ornament that I'm making is my first experimental one, so to speak. I've never done this before, so I did try different ways to achieve like the mercury glass effect. I didn't know, going into this, which process would work better. So I'm going to show you different ways that you can create this effect and which ones might actually end up looking better or giving you that really nice, authentic looking mercury glass effect. So that first one, as I mentioned, is just the it's just the Mirror Effects spray paint with the water and vinegar mixture. So for the second ornament, I decided to try something different. I went with this Venetian bronze spray paint by Rust-Oleum and just sprayed the inside of this. Now, the reason I decided to go this direction is because after doing the first ornament, I found that it was looking a little too silver and clear looking, and you can see right through the little areas where the water vinegar mixture like sort of repelled the mirror effects, and you can sort of like see right through it. And I wanted more depth and more like of a richer, deeper color underneath to show through. So I decided to spray paint the inside of this ornament. So that way, when I go to add the mirror effects and then the water and vinegar mixture, you can see the nice deep bronze color underneath come through those areas where the water repelled the paint. So this is again, something just I experimented with. And after I did that, I just took my Mirror Effects and just continued to spray all around the outside of the ornament. And here you can see I'm just doing quick short bursts and just sort of going in different directions. And try not to go for full coverage in one area. Like, don't go too heavy in one spot. Like with the first ornament, I sort of went like full on, let's cover the entire piece type look. But then after, taking a step back and trying it for the second time here, I decided to go with more like random sprays here and there, just making sure to leave like some areas like unsprayed, because that in essence is what will have more of that like the authentic mercury glass look. At least I think so. And here is the comparison between the two. So the left, as you can see, is more silver and mirror-like, whereas the right side is still mirror-like, but it has like that vintage, like old-looking mercury glass look to it that I really love. And that's because of that bronze paint that's coming through at the bottom. It just gives that nice richness and depth to the ornament. So then I continued on, repeating that same step. And you will see shortly throughout this video that I'm going to also try and spray some of that Venetian bronze over the top of the Mirror Effects in different areas as well, because I did want to richen up that dark color just in random spots, just to give it more of the aged look. And again, it's not, the idea here is not to go full coverage with any of these paint colors. It's just to sort of spray in random areas and keep layering both colors as needed to achieve the look that you're going after. So we all have our preference of how our projects, ought to look, like what looks pleasing to us. So just, stop when you feel like you've gotten to the point where like, hey, this looks nice and I think it looks, just like mercury glass, and you're happy with it. But I just kept playing around with the paints and just kept adding more in different areas, and just switched back and forth between the Mirror Effects paint and the Venetian bronze paint. So I just like the melding of the two colors because, again, it just like the two colors meshing together just gives it a really nice feel and really makes it look aged and old and vintage. And I love that look. So I just kept continuing on until I was happy. And then I also did forget to mention, but you saw in the other clips, that after you're done painting one, you'll want to let your paint drip out of it, and by turning it over just like this. So once you spray into the ornament, then just hold it upside down for a few seconds until you get the majority of the paint drips out. I do cover it right back up only because I needed to continue spraying the outside, and this is what held it up for me and made it easier for me to paint. But eventually, in the end, when I was done spraying everything, you'll see that I did turn all of these ornaments upside down and allowed them to fully drip out before I actually covered them and brought them inside and continued on. So I'm really loving how this looks. I think it's an awesome process. And like I said, I've been very curious about how this would turn out, and, trying this idea and recreating this look for my own home, because I do love a mercury glass, and I had these ornaments on hand, like I said, from many years ago, and I didn't quite know what to do with them, so I thought that this would be the perfect thing to go ahead and experiment with. So I think it came out awesome. And you will also see here that see it right there, you can see all the spots and like the dark areas coming through. And I just love that variation in the colors. It becomes less mirror looking when you do the Venetian bronze with the um, vinegar and water solution. Now, if you like more of that mirror look, with no extra like darkness to it or anything like that, then you can simply keep it, just as is once you spray that mirror effects paint. I mean, it's pretty cool effect as well, but that's not the look that I was going after. So here I decided to use an old egg carton, and then this was perfect for just turning all of these ornaments upside down and letting it, drip out until everything was completely out of the containers. Another thing that you can try, which I did not do, was to possibly spray paint the Venetian bronze first on the outside of the ornament, and then spray paint the mirror effects with and then spray the water solution over that. And that might give you a good look as well. But I wonder if that would have had the same exact identical look as to what I achieved doing the process that I did. But here are the finished ornaments. I decided to take them inside, and it was time to embellish these. So as you can see, I also did spray paint those caps in the Venetian bronze spray paint color. They originally came in like that silver metal, but it was a little too bright for this overall look. But you'll see how I color those caps so that they're not so much darker than the rest of the ornament. I simply took this silver paint marker and just colored over those caps, and as you can see, it instantly transforms the caps sort of to match the rest of the ornament, so it's not like an eyesore just sort of sticking out like a sore thumb in contrast to the rest of the ornament. So you can also use rub and buff if you have something that will coordinate with the rest of your ornament. Like if I had something more silver or something like that, that would have been perfect. If I had used like a gold mirror effects spray paint and maybe used gold accents, I could have used like my antique gold rub and buff for that, but I didn't, and I went more with the silver route. So you can do any of those steps. In order to embellish these, I decided to use this really pretty red velvet ribbon from Joann's. And I sort of played and fussed around with the different ideas of how to create a bow for this ornament. Ultimately, I went with your normal sort of awareness ribbon style bow, just crisscrossing over those tails and then cinching down the middle with that black ribbon. This is just a satin ribbon that I had in my stash, and it is more of a wider ribbon. So what I did to create a thinner strip was to just cut the ribbon down in half lengthwise, and then I simply knotted the bow down the middle to create that cinched look, and then using the tails of that ribbon, so you want to make sure that you have a piece long enough that you are able to wrap that same ribbon around the cap of the ornament, and that's gonna double as both, you know, the tie as well as a part of the bow. And then I just simply double knotted that and cut off the excess. And then using another strip of the satin ribbon, I created a cute little hanger, just looping it into the existing hanger right there. And then I just double knotted it at the top just to create that little hanging loop. And that was it. I think that was a nice little added touch to this cute vintage style ornament. And it just gives that nice pop of red color. It makes it look really classy. Another idea for a ribbon or a different style is if you had like lighter colors, like if you're going for more vintage, shabby chic, that sort of thing, maybe using more of a neutral colored ribbon or pink, if that's your color, that would be super pretty. You can also use lace if that's more your speed. There's so many different ways to change up the look of an ornament simply using a different style of ribbon or different colors. So I just chose to go with velvet red, and I thought it was pretty. I already had this ribbon. I had just bought it not too long ago from Joann's, and I thought it was pretty, and it adds a nice little contrast and that pop of color. And again, it just makes it look like a very classy style ornament. So I love how all these pieces came out. I pretty much repeated the same steps. All I did was took one length of ribbon and just use it as my template to cut off or cut out multiples so that I can do the same steps and create my simple bow, just like so. And then attach all of those to each of these ornaments, and I love it, and I hope you guys like it too. So that does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and got some great inspiration and ideas for creating your own vintage style mercury glass Christmas ornaments. I had a good time experimenting with the mirror effect spray paint. I think that I achieved this look that I was going after. It came out so beautiful. I love the look of Mercury glass, and this did the trick. I might even try using that same effect or technique using an old mirror, or just a mirror in general, or maybe even a picture frame. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Let me know in the comments if you like this one. Give me a thumbs up and join me in my next video. Thanks for watching.